All right. What is up, guys? A lot of you asked me questions on Instagram for a Q&A. So I decided that now's the time. I'm going to do part of it if I can get through it. There's a lot of questions, so I may do part 1 and part 2. This is part 1. As you can see, I'm in the middle of the woods right now. I thought I need to switch it up a little bit. I need to put it in a different environment instead of being in that room that I always am when I'm talking to y'all. Whenever I do things like this, I'm going to try to switch up the environment a little more, make it a little more exciting. Hopefully y'all be a little more interested in these types of segments if I can switch up the scenery. The sun was about to go down, so I need to hurry up and get this done. But it's kind of crazy. Christmas break, I'm about to finish all of my school for the year. This semester, I'm doing community college, as some of you know. But this semester, once I finish my finals on Friday, I will be done with school, and then I'm just going to work 40 hours a week until summer. And then this summer, I'm doing an internship with my church youth group, basically just going to be able to work alongside the youth leaders and help them out any way I can and go on mission trips and those types of things. And then hopefully I'll go to college at Southeastern. Yeah, I just had the flu like very, very recently, so I have this cough right now, so sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. And I've been kind of lazy about filming lately, so I need to not be as lazy, but I'm working on it. I'm trying not to. So the first question, and some of these are biblical, some of these are just kind of about my life, and some of these are just advice questions. But the first question is, what has been the hardest part of your walk with God, and what did you do to make it better? So the hardest part about my walk with God is just being around people who are not walking with God, and having friends and those types of things, and being in situations where the people around me aren't doing the right thing. So it makes it a lot harder for me to do the right thing and continue to be a light for Jesus if the people around me aren't doing the right thing. Because a lot of times what we want to do is we want to be of the world. And so I think that's been the hardest part of walking with God, is just not being of the world and being for Him and not for the world. It's hard not to get into those things. And I keep hearing things, but I know it's just squirrels running around the leaves. It's hard. It's hard not to act like everyone else in this world, because that's society. Like, society tells you, like, if you believe in something different than a lot of people do, then you're weird. A lot of people are going to judge you for not being of the world and living for Jesus, but you kind of just have to brush that off, because it's all going to be worth it in the end when you're in heaven with Him. I still do that. I still do things I shouldn't do because I conform to the things of this world. I still mess up. I still sin and do and give in to these types of things that are of the world. When I'm around people that aren't doing the right thing, I still give in to those things. What did you do to make it better? Well, part of it is just, you have to realize it doesn't matter what other people think. And that's been a really hard thing for me growing up, is caring about what other people think about me. You just have to not care what other people think. Who cares? That's their opinion. They can think what they want to think about you. As long as you know you're doing the right thing, well, other people's opinions of you don't matter. And that was really hard for me to accept, because I used to want to do what other people would like so that I could fit in, even if it was the wrong thing. And I always had a bad feeling about it, and sometimes I still did it. So the main thing of that is just try not to care what other people think, because if you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. No matter what anyone else thinks of you or tells you what you're doing. If you know you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. Favorite Bible verse? That's a hard one, honestly. It's hard to have a favorite Bible verse because there are a lot of them that speak to me. Probably one of my favorites is the one that goes, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. That verse, especially the part where it says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. It's just such a comforting verse to read. It's such a comforting verse. And it's God's literally, He's literally telling you, do not be scared, for I am with you. I'm not going to touch on this verse too much, because I already did that in the last video, and I already said all these things in the last video, but that's kind of That's kind of my favorite verse, probably my favorite verse segment, because he's basically saying, do not be afraid, I'm with you. He's literally telling you, don't be afraid. So that's kind of probably my favorite verse, or one of my favorite verses. How do you keep such positive energy all the time? That's a good question. I don't know. I try to be positive, and trust me, I'm not always positive, guys. Like what you'll see in front of the camera, that's me, like, being super hype and positive and all that stuff. But that's not always me. Like, sometimes I have my down moments just like y'all do. I have my moments where I'm sad. I'm not always positive, and sometimes, I get into the mindset of like overthinking about things. I'm a big overthinker. I try to be as positive as I can, because why not? Like, why not be positive? What's the point of being negative and potentially making someone else's days negative or y'all's days negative? Like, why not? Just be positive. Like, be happy. Like, you woke up today. I'm gonna be happy that I have a chance to be happy during the day. Like, God's giving me a chance to be happy, so why not use that, right? Just be happy. Just be positive. Even if things aren't going your way and it's a lot harder to be positive, just look at it like God woke you up this morning. Like, you have a reason to be positive, so be positive for Him. I'm struggling with high school and how I should portray myself as a Christian. What do you think I should do? That kind of also goes along the lines of, like, doing what you know is right even when others aren't. For me personally, I will try to find a wife that wants to homeschool my kids, because honestly, I don't want my kids going to public high school, because public high school is a really, really crazy, sad, and dark place a lot of the times. And most of the time when kids go to public high school, they don't come out of it with a positive mindset or like a spiritual mindset at all. You're struggling in high school with how you should portray yourself as a Christian. Honestly, just be yourself. Like, just be yourself. Like I said earlier, don't give into the things of this world. I know a lot of times in high school, there are going to be kids doing the wrong thing. There are going to be kids who judge you. There are going to be kids who question your beliefs, and you just have to stand strong in your beliefs, knowing that you're made in God's image and that He's looking out for you. I promise you, if you stay strong to your beliefs and you stay strong to your religion and you do what you know is right spiritually, then God's going to look out for you. And it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but God will look out for you if you trust Him and what He's doing. Be who you know God made you to be. And if people judge you and if people try to get you to do the wrong thing, just say no. I'm 18, and I've never taken a hit of a vape. I've never drank alcohol. I've never smoked weed. I've never done any sort of drugs. I've never done anything like that at all, ever. Because I learned to just not do the wrong thing, even when the people who are doing the wrong thing are around me. I just don't do it. I've had many, many people offer me those things. Offer me beer, offer me drinks, try to get me to take a hit of a vape, try to get me to smoke, like that kind of stuff. And you just have to say no. Like, just say no. It's not something that I'm interested in, and that's me and that's myself. And I don't care if people try to peer pressure me into doing it. I'm not going to do it. If they think that you're not cool because you don't do something like that, then they're not your real friends. How do you balance being a teenager and a Christian? All the adults in my life seem to think it's so cut and dry, and they don't understand it's a struggle. Yeah, that's honestly very true. Being a teenager and a Christian at the same time is really, really hard, especially in this generation. I think it's important to find a good community of friends who also share the same beliefs as you. Being a teenager in this day and age is a struggle, but it can be a lot less of a struggle if you do it right. And a lot of teenagers aren't doing it right. People like to complain about this generation being a struggle, and it is. But you also have to think about like how other countries live. Like, you don't want to go live in China. And yeah, it's teenager struggle over here, but you have to think about other countries and how other people are struggling a lot more. It's a lot harder in a lot of other places for teenagers than it is here. Simply put, this generation is just different. When did you decide you were going to be sober? That's a quick and easy answer. Always. Since I was born, always decided. Ever since I knew what that meant, I've always decided I'm always going to be sober. I'm never going to do any of that stuff, ever. Testimony on God and what miracles you've seen in your life. I think I'm going to save that for a different video, because that's a really long story, and that'll probably take up an entire video. So I'm going to save that for another video. When did you start accepting God into your life? I got baptized when I was 7, but I don't think I really started to understand what truly believing in God meant until like 2 years ago. And in between now and that 2 years ago, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've gone away from God a lot of times. But I think I really started to realize what it means to be a true Christian about 2 years ago. How do I stop procrastinating because I have 2 AP classes and I end up getting 4 hours of sleep? That is a really good question. I struggle very much with procrastinating as well, with a lot of things, such as filming. Take this for example. It's Thursday. I'm supposed to be posting on Friday, and I'm just now filming at 4:36 p.m. on a Thursday when I need to post this video tomorrow in about 24 hours. So I procrastinate with filming. I procrastinate with editing. I procrastinate with work sometimes. It's kind of harder to do it with work because you have a set schedule that you have to listen to or you get in trouble. I procrastinate with school the most. So to answer your question, how to stop procrastinating, I would like to know the answer to that question as well, because I procrastinate so much. It's really hard not to put things off and do what you want to do and then throw all of your school stuff together at the last second. I do that a lot. But I think things that have helped me is just get up and go down to wherever you study or do your schoolwork and just do it. Just force yourself. Be like, if I get this done now, I can do what I want to do for the rest of the day. And one big thing that has made me procrastinate a lot is this thing right here, this phone. I'm always on my phone during school because I always get distracted by Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, all those things. Like I'll do work for 30 minutes and I'll find myself scrolling on Instagram for like 30 minutes to an hour. I have my parents set limits on Instagram, and I only have a certain amount of time that I can be on Instagram a day before it shuts it off. And I had them do that because I realized that it was taking up more time than it needed to during the day, and that it was a distraction for me from my schoolwork. Another thing that you can do is honestly just eliminate the distractions until you finish your school. If I really need to focus, I'll literally put my phone in a different room and I won't bring it in there until I finish what I need to finish for that day, because my phone is my main thing and my phone is the reason that I procrastinate a lot. So that's kind of what I do, just like eliminate the distractions, because most of procrastinating is just you're procrastinating because you're distracting yourself before you do the stuff that you need to get done. So yeah, that's kind of my answers to those questions. If y'all have any more questions, honestly, like message me on Instagram. I like answering your questions. If y'all have any like video ideas, anything like that, any vlog ideas, let me know down in the comments, because honestly, I want to do what y'all want to do, but also I honestly struggle with the creativity part of YouTube and like figuring out what to vlog, what to film. Sometimes it's hard, like just thinking of ideas. And also where I live, North Carolina, there's not many things to do. Some of your YouTubers, they live in New York and that kind of stuff, where they just have millions of opportunities for vlogs, and people who live in Florida, they can just kind of do whatever. But here, there's not really anything to do for vlogs. And around here, for like pranks, once you do pranks in a bunch of different spots, there's not really anywhere else to go. So just, if y'all have any ideas, let me know. But like always, I say this a lot. I say this all the time, but for real, like trust in God. Like for real, trust Him with your life, because He does have an amazing plan for every single one of you. Whatever y'all end up doing in life, you know, God's going to help you through it if you just trust in Him. A lot of people don't trust in Him, and that's why you see a lot of people's lives going completely off the rails, and they don't know what they're doing with their lives, and they live terrible lives because they just don't trust in God. Like they just don't listen to what He has to say. They don't trust Him with their life, and that is why ultimately people's lives go downhill. I love you guys a lot. I really appreciate the support. I've been losing motivation for this lately. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because I stopped for a while because I need to focus on myself and kind of my goals for my life and kind of what I needed to focus on. And so that made a lot of the views go down. They're not really getting any views right now, and it's kind of making me lose motivation. But I'm gonna keep pushing for y'all. I'm gonna keep putting out stuff. Hopefully the views start getting more, reaching more people. Because honestly, I just want to make a positive impact. I want to reach as many kids as I can, so that maybe I can make some kids' life better. Maybe I can touch someone's heart with the word of God or just with positivity in general, make someone laugh, those types of things. I just want it to reach more people so that I can do those things for more people. For those of you who are watching this, you're a real one, because this isn't a funny, fun type video. This is a serious video. So y'all who watch the serious stuff, y'all are real ones. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I love you guys. I'm Blake Woot. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bam!